Okay, so before I get into details about motivation, if you remember last time what we did was a case study in which there was this team of 6 people where 3 were not really troubling, but 3 were sort of not troublemakers, but area of concern. And we had Rajat, Deepak, and Ravi, and we discussed how to deal with them. Which is a situation which you as future sales manager will face all the time. You will have to motivate people. You will have to motivate them to achieve the goals. You have to ensure that the people working under you are happy, and for that you need to understand them. And therefore, today, what we will do is, while we did a practical case study, today we will discuss in detail about the different theories of motivation, their application. We will try to link it to the case study and try to understand that how does theory work in reality. But before that, I need to understand from you as to how you look at motivation. And I'm not asking for some perfect definition from www.google.com. I'm asking your definition, your viewpoint, what you think about motivation. So what you have to do is, you can here you have, when you press this, you will get these sticky notes. Pick up any sticky note. So for example, I have picked up this sticky note, and for me, most probably motivation is when students participate in discussion. Okay, so for me, this is motivation. I want you to now, you can also access this. Please put your sticky notes with what you think is motivation for you. And we'll do it for just 5 minutes. So I'm starting the timer. Someone says marks are motivating. Okay. Motivation is what? You can also move your sticky note to keep it separate from others. For example, see, I moved my sticky note so that it's not under someone. Try not to go off screen, because then I'll have to reduce the size, which may not make the visibility great for you. So someone else says motivation is a push to achieve desired object, recognition and appraisal, a combination of intrinsic and extrinsic drives to achieve goals, both personal and professional, incentives that enable action. It's the extra push required to achieve your final goal. If you want it, you work for it. It drives you to achieve what you want. Is appreciation from others. End result is motivation, and mostly works when it is internal. What else? Motivation mostly works when it is internal. This is appreciation, yeah. Encouragement to do a task induced by self or an external source. I can't see what this is. Someone who's, okay, this is Anshuman has. So Anshuman, can you, motivation helps you go the extra mile to achieve the goal.
Ma'am, that is not mine. I just moved the one that was covering it so you could read it.
Okay, okay, sorry. I thought that was yours. You know, another thing which you can do is, once you've put your views, you can also, once you've put your views, you can also appreciate, or you can, the views of others. But that's okay. We have another 2 minutes left. Quickly, I don't think all 29 people have put their views. Motivation is whatever drives me to work hard. Your passion. Now when I have a class, I get all calls. Yeah. What is this red one? I can't. Motivation is okay. Yeah, you can also color your. We have another 1.5 minutes left. I don't think I have your 29 notes out here. Anyone else? Another minute left. And let me see. Yeah, I have around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Yeah, respect for one's effort is motivation. Only 1 minute left. Can I just get your views on what is, for people who have put their views, thank you so much. For others who haven't, better marks, bonuses are motivating. For others who haven't, please do. We have 34 seconds left. Okay, just another 5 seconds left and we end this then. Done. So it's done. As I see, someone says it drives us to achieve our goals. Respect for one's effort. Motivation is an internal drive, better marks, bonuses, a combination of intrinsic, extrinsic, desire to achieve a goal, appreciation for others, your passion. Okay, so I really appreciate all the definitions. They are nice way of putting it. However, some definitions, if you will see, some definitions are talking about a journey, while some definitions are talking about the end goal. So when you're talking about better marks and bonuses, that's the result, right? On the other hand, when someone says internal drive to achieve your goal, you're talking about a journey. When someone says encouragement to do a task, again, you are sort of talking about the journey. You are not talking about the end goal. But so as I see, when I see all this, let me present to you what we actually mean by motivation. Motivation is the journey. Motivation is the effort required to undertake a journey in order to reach a goal which you and I want. If we do not want that goal, we will not work towards that goal. If that goal is not something which figures for us, we will not work for it. And therefore, for motivation, it's a journey which is important, definitely. What is also important is whether we, you, I, whoever we are trying to motivate, whether I'm trying to motivate myself or whether I'm trying to motivate my team, whether that goal is the desired goal. Extremely important to understand. So does your team, the goal that you are setting for your team, is that the goal that your team wants? You may think that this is a great goal. Did you check with your team and ask, do they also think it's a great goal? Because if they do not think it's a great goal, they will not work towards it. So how do I ensure that my team works towards the goal? How do I ensure that I recognize the correct goals for my team? So today, as I said, we will go through the various definitions of motivation, the different theories of motivation, and then try to link them with the case study we have done and understand that how much theory and how much practical, what is the relation, and how does it actually work in real time. So I always like this definition. I hope you can see the screen. I don't know whether this definition exists in other books or not, but this is something which I believe through a period of time, through my own experience. Your performance is a result, is a product of two things: motivation and training. Please understand the word that is very important is that it's a product. What does it mean? Even if one is zero, the result is zero. So if you want to do something in life, if you, for example, suppose you want to apply for you want to go abroad for higher education, your performance is a result of two things: motivation and training. Now, what does it mean? You may be really, really motivated that, yes, I want to go abroad for higher education, or I want to go to this institute in my country for higher education, or I want to join this company. That's your motivation. You're very passionate about it. So someone had written on that screen, passion. So yes, you're very passionate about it. However, there may be so many people who are passionate about it. Everyone does not get the admission or the job. Why? Because along with your passion, what you need is training. You need the right skills in order to get into that institute or to get that job. And therefore, your final performance is always a product of two things: motivation and training. Your employees, your juniors, your colleagues, everyone, if you want them to perform, please understand that yes, you have to motivate them and you have to provide them with the right training. We will deal with training later, but today we are dealing with the first thing, that is motivation. Because whether in life, whether in personal life or in official life, we all need to perform. So I remember so many cases where I knew this person is far more talented than others, and yet he was not performing. Why? Because we were asking him because he was not motivated for that particular thing. So when I talk about theories of motivation, whenever you want to, if there's any doubt wherever you want to contribute, just unmute yourself and speak. I am not going back to the chat box to check those. We will be discussing some theories. A quick one, this I think you've been doing right from semester 1 or most probably from 11th, 12th class, a theory which is extremely, extremely popular whenever we talk about motivation. Somehow we always talk about this. So I don't think I need to go into the details of this. What you need to understand and how we link it with our case study, if you remember the case study, is that this theory says that we move on the ladder after after our need on the step below it has been satisfied. So the first need we say are the basic needs, roti, kapda, makan, if I put it very, very crudely. I move on to safety and security only after my basic needs have been taken care of, are satisfied. Please understand that a person who joins you at a young age of, even you, when you will join at the young age of 22, 23, 24, at that point of time, there are many youths in my country, you are the blessed ones, who will be fighting for the satisfaction, for the fulfillment of this need. They will be fighting for roti, kapda, or makan. At that point of time, if you tell them that, hey, you know what, if you join our company, then 20 years from now, you are going to be a great personality. But you know what, today we cannot pay you salary. It doesn't gel with them, because you are talking to them about this, you're talking to them about this. Right now, they are fighting for this. They are fighting for the basic needs. So please understand your group, your colleagues, your team, at what level are they? On the other hand, a person who's been working for most probably 25, 30, 35 years maybe has hit this ladder. He is already here, and now he's looking for this. These needs, his basic needs have been taken care of. He is in a safe and secure environment. And therefore, at that point of time, maybe it's not so much the salary which matters to him, the plus minus 10% minus percent. What matters to him is the power. What matters to him is the designation. On the other hand, there's another theory, which is a need acquired theory, a beautiful theory, which says that all of us have three different kinds of needs in us, all of us. And this doesn't mean that we have 33%, 33%, and 33%. No, someone may have 60, 20, 20, someone may have 70, 10, 20, or whatever. And what are those three needs? These are the needs for achievement, need for affiliation, and need for power. Go back to the case study that we did, and I will try to link it over there. So when I talk about need for affiliation, Deepak had need for affiliation. He was an average worker. He was passing through a mess in his life. He felt rejected, and he wanted to be part of the society. He wanted to be part of the company. He had a need for affiliation. All of us have that need for affiliation when we join Instagram or Facebook or some other thing. I mean, that's what they have exploited, or used rather, that's the word, when they created that product, because all of us want to be associated with someone. However, there are also people who have a higher need, which is higher than need for affiliation. It is need for achievement, and another is need for power. What is the difference between need for achievement and the need for power? The need for achievement is when these are the people who walk on a path that they have defined. They really don't care what the others think about it. For them, that walking on that new path, or that path which they think is challenging, is extremely important. Are they gamblers? No, they are not. And the example that I always give, when I explain need for achievement and need for power, is I compare Shah Rukh Khan versus Amir Khan. So when I say this, I say Shah Rukh Khan belongs to need for power, and I hope Shah Rukh and Amir never see this video. And Amir Khan belongs to need for achievement. Why do I say this? Look at films, and I'm only talking about their films. I'm not talking about their anything else. Look at the films, the type of films that Amir Khan is associated with. Tare Zameen Par. I mean, he was such a famous personality at that point of time. He was, and at that point of time, someone says that you make a film which is about a child with dyslexia or something like that, and there is no heroine in the film, and the film is centered around a child, and we will make that film. It was a huge risk. Who makes such a film? And yet he did. Look at his film Ghajini. That was the name, I think. Yeah. Again, I mean, a hero who doesn't remember things, but hero is supposed to be perfect. Hero doesn't forget anything. Hero is supposed to forgive everything, and so on and so forth. And yet he went ahead. Or look at his film Lagan. A film about cricket match, and not a cricket match of the modern time, a cricket match which happened so many years ago, where people would not be dressed in the smart clothes, and in a village, in a rural setting. They're talking about those days when we were not free. Hey, who would be interested in such a film? And yet he went ahead. He not only made those films, I'm talking about successful product, and there was such huge successes that they have made a name for themselves in the books of history. Again, so they don't need the approval of others, but they try to go on that path which others dread to go on. On the other hand, so they are the leaders who are ready to accept challenges, but are they gamblers? No, they are not. So if you tell them that, hey, here is this product which you have to sell, your chances of success are 95%, he or she is not interested. If you tell them here is a product that you have to sell, your chances of success are 5-10%, then also they are not interested. They're interested when they have a fair chance to fight, which is 50-50 or somewhere around that. On the other hand, need for power. These are also leaders. But these are the leaders who people like. They want to be appreciated. When they do something, they look forward to that appreciation. They look forward to that recognition. They do care what people think about them. So yes, these are the need for affiliation. So how does it happen in a company? Now, if you look at a company, if you've read that HBR article, which I shared with you, I hope you have, this is exactly what we are talking about. Majority of us belong to need for affiliation. We want to be associated, and therefore we fall in that middle group of a worker. There are two kinds of leaders, need for power and need for achievement. Every company has two kinds of things going on in the company, regular routine things which you have to do and which are required. There's nothing wrong with it. In order to take the company forward, and therefore you need a leader who will take the workers with him, take the company forward, need for power people. But at the same time, every company also needs to innovate, to take up new challenges, to find new paths, because a company is not just for today, but a company is also there for tomorrow. And therefore, there we need leaders who are ready to take up those challenges, who are ready for need for achievement. Go back to the case study. While Deepak belonged to need for affiliation, Rajat somewhere was for need for achievement. On the other hand, Ravi had the potential to be a leader, and he was also a party person. If he came back on the right path, then either he would fit into need for affiliation, or he would fit into need for power if he has the leadership qualities in him. Let me take a break at this point of time and just try to understand from you. Are you understanding anything that I need to repeat, or anything that is not clear till now before I move on to the next theory? I assume that it's clear to you. If it is not at any point of time, please unmute yourself and ask me. Okay, 1 minute. I seem to have... Clear, ma'am. Thanks, Ansh. I seem to have lost my... Okay. So we come back to this. So up till now, we have done two kinds of theories. One was the Maslow's, which is so famous. The second is the theory of needs. Let's go forward and so this is how, this is okay. Yeah, again, this theory is again a very famous theory. Most probably you've done it again right from the first semester. It is the Herzberg's two-factor theory. And what does it say? I always find it very interesting. So it says there is nothing called satisfaction. The opposite of satisfaction is dissatisfaction only in the dictionary books. In reality, it doesn't, it's not like this. Like right now, I am sad, and then suddenly someone cracks a joke and I become happy. It doesn't. We are not like that. Happy, sad, happy, sad. No, we are not. So I may be sad. I first have to come to a state of being neutral, where I'm not sad, but maybe I'm not even happy. And then you gradually move towards happiness. Same is true for everything. It's not black and white. So similarly, Herzberg says that if you are demotivated, if you're not happy, then first we need to get the employees to a neutral state where they are neither happy nor they are sad. And then you apply the motivators to take them towards satisfaction. So it's a journey. But then that brings me to a question that, okay, what is it that brings the employees to the neutral state? What are those things? And there was a very interesting study done. And look at this. He said the things which bring them to a neutral state. So these are not motivators. These are not motivators. If these are not there, then the employee is dissatisfied. And look at it. They are company policy and admin, your supervision. Salary is a basic need. Salary is not a motivator. Interpersonal relationship, working conditions. If these are not there, then we cannot motivate the employees. Why? Because they have not even hit the neutral place. And that is why these are called hygiene factors. I find this very interesting because somewhere if you link it to Maslow's hierarchy also, what are these? These are the basic needs. Maybe basic plus safety and security. These are those two ladders, two steps of the ladders, and unless and until you first make them strong, you cannot apply motivators. Once these are in place, once your employees are in that neutral state, then you apply these motivators, which may be achievement, which may be recognition. So, promotion. Achievement is what? Promotion. What is recognition? Best employee of the month or the week or the year or what itself or something like that. Work itself, the kind of work that you provide. Responsibility, which is again promotion, your further growth, so on and so forth. All this only comes once you have put all this in place. So, are the basic factors in place in your team? Are you taking care that your employees have access to the basic needs? Also, please understand, what may be basic today may not be basic tomorrow. So, for example, when I started working, internet was not basic. We had workstation, and a lot of employees used to go over there to use the internet. Today, internet on your desktop, on your laptop is a basic thing. So most probably when I started working, internet came in motivators. Today, access to internet comes in hygiene factors. So what are the basic that should be available to your team? It's only when these are available, and look at that. Look at the things that we are talking about. We're talking about security. We're talking about personal life. We're talking about salary. We're talking about relationship with the supervisor, which in this case would be you. We are talking about company policies and administration. Only when these are in place that we can talk about motivators and help the employees being motivated. There are many times when the companies say, hey, we have such fantastic promotion schedules and yet our employees don't work. Why? Because they're not even looking at those promotion schedules. They don't plan to stay there. And why don't they plan to stay there? Because they're still fighting about the hygiene factors. The working conditions may be terrible. There may be so much politics in the office that they don't see themselves being there. Therefore, they're not even looking at those advancements or responsibilities or achievement. They are still struggling with the hygiene factors. And as a boss, as a head, as a sales manager, this is your business. You need to ensure that the hygiene factors are there before you start making promotion plans and incentives and so on and so forth. Not only that, let me most probably take a break. Am I making sense? Anyone who is not understanding anything, please unmute yourself at any point of time and ask. Do not wait for me to come back to the screen and check the chat box. So since there's nothing over here, I assume that you are understanding. Yes? Okay. We go on to the next theory. Now, I really like this theory. I find this theory to be the crux of most of the things that happen in life, our behavior, the way we interact with people, the way we develop our attitudes, our perceptions are formed. And let me explain this. So this theory, if you look at the definition, it says individuals compare the job inputs and outputs with those of others and then respond to eliminate any inequities. In very simple language, if we think we are not being treated equally, then we are unhappy. When we are unhappy, we are not motivated. If at any point of time in our personal or professional life, when we feel that it's not the equal treatment that is being given to all, then we are unhappy. And when I say equal treatment does not mean that you give equal salary to everyone. Equal treatment does not mean that you give equal marks to everyone. Equal treatment does not mean that you give equal promotion to anyone. That's the result. Equal treatment means that you provide the same platform to everyone. You provide the same opportunities to everyone. So for example, as a kid, when I used to fight with my mother because she wanted me to come back home at a certain time while my brother could come back home at another time, what was I fighting about? I was not fighting about the time. I was fighting about the fact that he can come home later and I have to come home early, right? It didn't matter what the time was. Equal opportunity in an organization. Is everyone getting an equal opportunity to perform? If you are not giving them equal opportunity to perform, and then you start ranking them, rating them, then they are going to be unhappy. Yes, if I got the same platform or the same opportunities to perform as my colleague, and then if he performed better, then I will not be unhappy because we were given the same opportunities. I did not perform, right? And that is why this theory is extremely, extremely important. Because when people do not get equal opportunities and when therefore their performance is affected because of this, then they are not happy. It is explained like this. It says, so when I feel that I am not being, let me see if there's a simpler model. Yes, so the amount of effort that you have put in, if you are given lower rewards, then you reduce your efforts. This is what happens because of this. On the other hand, if you are given fair rewards, then your efforts remain the same. If you are given higher rewards, then we assume that you will start putting on more efforts also. This theory is extremely important when it comes to making your compensation plan. This theory is extremely important which we will do when we make the compensation plan. When it comes to giving goals and targets to your employees, again, I mean, are you giving everyone the same target or not? Again, when we discuss the quota setting, we will discuss about this. So one of the very important theories which helps us to, which as a boss gives me a direction that I have to treat everyone equally. And as an employee also, I need to understand that everyone is getting the same platform. And then if I don't perform, I cannot quit. Okay. The next theory, and most probably the last theory that I'll discuss, there are so many motivation theories. I mean, we can go on and on and on. I'm just discussing the ones which I feel are important. If you want me to discuss more, you can always write back to me, and maybe in one of the classes we can discuss those also. I'll be happy to do that. Another very interesting theory, this is called the expectancy model. Now, what does this expectancy model says? So it says, I put in effort, and there will be a performance. But for that performance, I expect some rewards, and those rewards should match with my personal goal. So let me explain this maybe by an example from the real life. And so here is this child, and I think I have shared this example for those of you who studied with me in the previous semesters. I really love sharing this example. So here is this boy who doesn't study. And his parents, his father comes up to him and says, hey, you know what, please, you need to study. If you, right now you're getting 50%, and if you will get 90%, then I will give you a bike. do you think the child will perform? Any idea? What are your views?
Ma'am, if he needs a bike, then he'll perform.
Okay, anyone else?
No, ma'am, because if he thinks that he cannot achieve 90%, he will not perform.
Anyone else?
Ma'am, he will try to achieve 90%, but if it's on him that he can or not.
Okay, anyone else?
Ma'am, he may initially put in a lot of effort, but that effort may die down later.
Okay, okay, very interesting views. See, so let's link it now. I agree with all whatever you people have said, and let us now link to what you're saying. So here is this boy. Please understand, he has never achieved more than 50%. Okay, never. And for whatever reasons. Now the goal that he's being given is you will get a bike, and he needs a bike. He desperately needs a bike. Okay, but he will get a bike if he moves from 50 to 90%, which means this individual performance, so the effort he has to put in is double. He has to most probably spend so many hours studying. The effort that we are asking him to put is extreme. Please understand that we as human beings, if you ask me to put a lot of effort continuously for a long period of time and check it with yourself, it may not be sustainable. Effort beyond a certain limit. You are asking him to put double the effort. He's got 50% and 90%. So he may start putting effort, but whether he'll be able to sustain or not is a big, big question mark. So if he's not able to sustain, then his performance will be affected. Because his performance is affected, he will not get 90%, which is the reward. And because he's not getting 90%, he will be demotivated because his personal goal is not being achieved. Where did we go wrong? Were we wrong in identifying his goal? Was the father or mother wrong in identifying the goal? No. He wanted a bike, the goal was right. What were they wrong in? They were wrong in understanding the journey. They were wrong in understanding the reward. From 50 to 90 is a huge leap. And it may be very, very difficult for a person to do it. This is like almost saying that I will not give you a bike. Haven't there been times in your life when I remember as a child, there were so many times when I just used to tell my parents, "Acha, aapko dena nahi hai na, isliye." That's it. This is almost like saying this. We were ready to give you, but you couldn't get it. Hey, you were asking me to jump from 50 to 90. That's like almost impossible. A very important thing for you as a boss, as a supervisor. You are not motivating, you are demotivating. How do you motivate? By putting goals which are achievable with optimum effort. I'm not saying put easy goals. Achievable with optimum effort. So, had they put a goal, better you've got 50%. If you get 65, 70%, then we'll give you a bike. That's achievable, but it's not easily achievable. Even for that, he really has to study. But when he will perform, he will get the reward and he will be motivated. Go back to the previous theory to put in, hey, you know what? I can get 75%, dude. I'm not that bad. When I started, I got. Now even 85% is not unachievable for him. Now he will move from 70. Now you can set a further goal. From 75 to most probably 85. Help your employees take those steps. Don't ask them to jump from the first floor to the second floor. Please provide the ladder. Unless and until you provide them with the ladder, they will never ever reach the second floor. And when they will not reach the second floor, then your goals, the company's goals, will never be realized. So this is again a beautiful theory which talks about how much effort you want your people to put, personal, professional life. What will be the result of that effort? Will that effort help me get the reward? Do I need that reward? Okay. If I don't, so for example, had he not needed a bike, he would say, sorry, not interested. That's okay. I don't want to study. I don't want the bike. Do I need? Simple. How much effort? Will that effort give me performance? Will that performance give me the reward? Do I need that reward? If I need that reward, I will work. I will really, really work. But also, there has to be a link between the effort and performance. How much effort? Optimum effort. There's nothing, I keep repeating this all the time, there's nothing called maximum, because there's no limit to maximum. Optimum. If there are 24 hours in a day, I can only study 24 hours. And that's also not possible. So optimum effort. There has to be a relationship between effort and performance. There has to be a relationship between performance and reward. And finally, is it the reward I need? So when you have a team, when you are leading the team, when you want to become a leader of a team, you need to understand that what is the optimum effort that you can ask your employees to put. And once they put that optimum effort, what kind of performance do you want? And how will you reward them? And is that the reward they want? So for example, if you've read the HBR study, the article that I have sent to you, I don't know how many of you, it puts employees in 3 brackets. So there are the laggards, there are the workers, and then there were the star performers. And the award required by a worker is different from the award required by a star performer. They both mean the words. And how beautifully, using the equity theory, we have given them different rewards. So at this point of time, maybe any doubt up till now? This is a lot of theories in one day.
Actually, I have a question. I noticed that usually extrinsic motivators are kind of short term, but when it's intrinsic, when the person really wants to do it by himself, then it's more long lasting. So in your experience, can you share any instances where you have been able to motivate the person, arouse intrinsic motivation in the person?
See, what you're saying is absolutely true. If any one of us is always going to depend on some outside factor or person to motivate me, then my whole journey is dependent on outside people. That means the moment there is no one to motivate me, I will stop working. I will stop trying to achieve my goals. Obviously, the best kind of motivation is the intrinsic motivation when you want to do it. However, practically another reality of life is that we all want appreciation, we all want to be acknowledged. And what is that? That is extrinsic. There are very few people who, it's very easy to say, I don't care. It's like the coolest word to say, I don't care. The reality is, we all care. We all care. And therefore, if you ask me theoretically, obviously, nothing to beat intrinsic motivators. That's the best. If you ask me practically, we are human beings. We haven't come on this earth as God. And everybody needs that little appreciation, that little direction. Not, to help us achieve our goals. And so will your team. Okay? That little appreciation from the boss saying, hey, wonderful job. It makes us so happy. If I was only intrinsically motivated, I would say, it's okay, whether my boss acknowledges me or not, it doesn't matter. But that's not true. It does matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyone else?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so are we clear about today's lecture? I don't have the time. It's already 1:32 to discuss the article that I have shared with you on HBR. Beautiful article. But if you get time,